Hey, what's up guys, it's UniqueRiggers and it's episode 11 of Road to 1 million coins. So I did have to relist a few players, but eventually they did all sell. So for Henry I got 8k for him, but the person after went and sold for 9,600 coins, so I could have got slightly more coins for him. For Skirtle I got 65k, for Matter I got 140k, for this Henry I got 11k, for Agar I got 56k, for the other Matter 135k, and for Gareth Bale I got 265k, so a nice profit off these players, put me on 649k, so I'm going to go pick up my first bunch of players for this episode right now. I've just gone and picked up my first two players for this episode, so I've picked up a Beckerman and a Donovan. I think that's how you pronounce this guy's name anyway. So I've picked him up for 120k, going to be trying to sell him for about 145k. For Donovan though, I've picked him up for 100k, and I'm going to be trying to sell him for 120k. So just going to list these two players right now, so I'll be back in a second. I've just gone and picked up another two players, so I've picked PS up for 124k, he's not in the best formation, but the next cheapest one on the market is 144k, so I'm going to be listing him up at 142k, so hopefully I'll set that price. For Colin, I've picked him up for 64k, there's only one other one on the market at the minute and he is 90k, so I'm going to be raising his price to 75k, so hopefully he'll sell for that price. Actually, I'm going to put him up at 80k, just try and get that amount for him. So just going to list these two players right now. I've just gone and picked up a few more players, so I've picked up a Kanji for 52,500, going to be listing him up at 60k. For this guy, I've picked him up for 73k, going to be listing him up at 80k. And for Beckham, picked him up for 93,500, and I'm going to be listing him up at 102k by now, so just going to list these players right now. Two of my players have sold, and I've also gone and picked up another two players. So Beckerman, he has sold for 145k. For David Beckham, he has sold for 102k. So for all the other players, none of them have bids on at the minute. And then I've gone and picked up a Barini and a Hazard. So for Barini, picked him up for 30k, going to be listing him up at 36k. For Hazard, picked him up for 43k, going to list him up at 51k, so just going to list these two players now. Five of my players have sold, so Donovan has gone for 119k, Colin has gone for 80k, Barini's gone for 36k, this guy's gone for 80k, and Hazard's gone for 51k. So on the market, these two players, he's got 10 minutes left, and Kanji's got 22 minutes left. For Farfan, I've picked him up for 35k, going to list him up at 45k. And for David Beckham, picked him up at 89k, going to list him at 102k like the last one, so hopefully these two players will sell. I've gone and picked up three more players, but Kanji has sold for 60k, and also this guy, I've had to relist him, so I've knocked his price down slightly. But the three players I've picked up, two Ibrahimovic's and one Kieran Gibbs. So for Ibra, picked him up for 105k and 442, going to try to sell him for 120k. For this one, picked him up in 41212, going to try to sell him for 125k, and I picked him up for 103k. For Kieran Gibbs, picked him up for 21,500, going to try to sell him for 25k or 26k, so just going to list these three players right now. Pierce has finally sold, he's gone for 140k, I've also gone and picked up three more players, so I've picked up a Yakubu for 15k, going to try to sell him for 22k. For Donovan, picked him up for 92k, going to list him up at 105k, and for Tevez, picked him up for 180k, going to list him up at 200k. So these three players are going to be listed up overnight, and once the other five players sell, if they do, going to pick up a few more players, and they'll be the final players that I buy for this episode. Kieran Gibbs has sold for 25,500 and Dave Beckham has gone for 102k, but unfortunately three of the players didn't sell, so Farfan had to relist him, same with the two Ibras. For the Ibras, I've knocked their price down slightly, and for Farfan I've left it the same as before. And then I've also gone and picked up some players, so Ashley Young picked him up for 82k, going to list him up at 90k. Ronaldinho picked him up for 60k, going to list him at 70k. And finally, Danny Welbeck picked him up for 32,500, and I'm going to list him at 38k. So hopefully all these players can sell. Going to be listing them up overnight. So see ya, UniqueRiggers. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like.